Hello and welcome to the Busybug Homestead. So today I'm going to be starting seeds. These are going to be the first things I have growing indoors that I'm starting this year. The only other thing I have going on in here right now is a couple herbs on the windowsill and some poppies that I've had growing since last year that are very, very slow growing. They're kind of just taking their time, but they're still doing their thing and they're still alive, so I'm letting them go. So today I'm going to be starting some lavender seeds. And I got all my lavender seeds from Renee Gardens. She had a really good selection, so I went with it. And what I decided to do, because I kept seeing things that said, yes, you need cold stratification. No, you don't need cold stratification. So I just decided to buy 2 packs of some of them. 2 of the varieties I got 2 packs of them, because one of them I cold stratified 1 pack, and then the other one I didn't. So the ones that I did that to, I have the Munstead English Lavender. I cold stratified these because it said that they were hardy to zone 5. I'm in a zone 6B, so I figured I'd cold stratify 1 pack, not cold stratify the other. We'll see what happens. And then the other one I did that with was the White Ice Lavender. Also says it's hardy to a zone 5, so I cold stratified 1 pack on that and left the other one uncold stratified, and we're just going to see which does better. I figure if one works and the other one doesn't, at least I get 1 whole pack or whatever. I get some plants out of it, you know. And then the ones I didn't get 2 packs of and I didn't cold stratify were the Purple Ribbon Spanish Lavender. This is not cold tolerant in our area, so this will be an annual from what I understand. But that's fine. I'm going to plant it in pots and I might try and winter it over in our shed. And then I have the French Perfume Lavender, which is this guy right here. And there were other varieties that I didn't get. These are just the ones I decided to start with. Because I've grown lavender before, but never on this scale. But I really want to do a drift of lavender plants down by our mailbox where I'm putting the new garden path. So I figured the best way and the most cost-effective way to do that was to just try and start it myself. I believe the French Perfume is cold hardy to zone 5 as well. I don't know. We're going to see. It's a big experiment because I've not tried doing this here, but I know lavender requires sandier soil. They don't want to be bothered. They don't need fertilizing, and they like things to drain well. So my plan is to kind of build up a little bit of a berm along the pathway so I can plant these in there where they can get well draining soil. And we get a lot of rain in the summer months, so I want to make sure I mix in some sand with that as well. But we'll talk more about that when we go to plant them, if the seeds even germinate. There is a lot of other varieties out there. These are just the ones I started with. And this website, I had never bought from them before. So, but they have so much great stuff. So I'm probably going to end up going back and getting some more seeds at some point in the future because the seed packets are adorable. And they had a really good selection. So I'm going to start with the 2 that I have our little competition going for between yes cold stratify or no cold stratify, and that's going to be our Munstead English Lavender and our White Ice Lavender. I'm pretty excited for the White Lavender because it looks like little drifts of snow and I've seen pictures of it, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, let's get to it. And I'm probably just going to speed through this part because from what I understand from the seed packet, they just want to be dusted along the top and just kind of lightly covered and then popped under lights to germinate. So I'm gonna pop through doing the Munstead English Lavender and the White Ice Lavender first in this tray, and then I'm gonna mark them with these tags that I made out of, can't really see that, out of cups that I had laying around that I wasn't using. Just plastic cups, cut them out, wrote on them with the Sharpie. Much better than a popsicle stick or something that might mold. So, let's get to that. Okay, so this tray I'm also going to add just 2 rows of the Spanish ribbon because these are not perennial, so I don't want to start too many of these because I don't know how they're going to do here. So I'm going to just do the 2 rows of the Spanish ribbon down here at the end in this tray of Munstead. But I have 5 rows of my cold stratified and 5 rows of the no stratification. And I still have some for the no stratification. For some reason the seed packets were not even on numbers. But I just, in every cell, I decided to put probably 3 or 4 in each one, just in case, because it does say it's got spotty germination on the back. I believe the exact words they use are, because perennial lavender small seeds germinate slowly and unevenly. We strongly recommend starting indoors so you can tend carefully. So because they say that it's uneven, I added extra, and then when I need to go and thin them out, I can pop them out and put them in different places and work with them that way. But just in case, I made sure I had a couple of seeds in each one. But you know, 10 cells, if I get 1 to pop up in each cell, that's a lot of lavender, so I'm cool with that. So at the end down here, I'm just going to do the purple ribbon, and we'll move on to the French perfume and the white ice in the next tray. Alright, so I ended up with 10 rows of Munstead in total, and then 2 rows of Spanish ribbon. And I'm going to put a dome on these and pop them on my shelf, and I'm going to grab another tray. And these trays, I filled them last night, and I pre-soaked the soil. I just put the whole tray in water and let it soak up all the water it needed. The lavender does not like to be overly soggy, but it did need to be wet to germinate. So I'm gonna take this, and I probably won't water these again until after they've emerged, because the dome should keep enough humidity in there. But I'm gonna put them under lights and let them germinate with some lights. Okay. So that was all of our Spanish ribbon. I don't have any more Spanish ribbon seeds, so I don't have to worry about that packet. But I do save all my packets for information, because if I like it, I want to go back and buy more. So now we are moving on to our white ice lavender, which is the other one where I had 2 packs and I did half stratified, half not. This is going to be where I'm going to end things, because we have got all of our lavender planted, and I am very hopeful and very excited to see some germination happening. The packets do say that it takes 14 to 25 days with the good light source. I've got my lights that were in the seed starting setup video ready to go behind me. They are running on a timer, and I keep it fairly warm in here. I got to make sure I watch the temp though, because it's not supposed to go over 70, and sometimes in the morning I come down here and it's in the 80s. So I'm going to keep the heater from going too high. But most of the stuff I'm growing in here right now, the lavender, the herbs, and the poppies, they can be fine at below 70. So this is our 1 week update for our lavender start. So over here is onions. From this one all the way over here, this is all onions because I had extra room in the tray. But here we're going to start our lavender, and this is our French perfume, and every cell except one so far has germinated. I think this little guy, he's starting to germinate in there. His little seed is broken open. And the coolest thing is when you scatter them on top of the soil like this, you can watch them break open. That was a lot of fun. So the French perfume did really well, and the French perfume were not cold stratified. And then for the white ice, half of them, two rows were cold stratified, 2 cells were not. 2 rows were not cold stratified. All of them have seemed to have popped up. These guys are opening. I don't think I can get it really good. Okay, these guys are starting to open here. These little seeds. And then it looks like we're going to have 100% germination on the white ice in both cold stratified and not cold stratified. And then our purple ribbon here, Spanish purple ribbon. These guys are looking really good here. We've had a decent amount of germination so far. A couple of cells didn't open. Some of them look like they're trying to start now. And then so this is where our Spanish ends, just 2 rows. 2 rows of the French perfume, 2 rows of the stratified white ice, 2 rows of the non-stratified white ice, 2 rows of the purple ribbon not stratified. And then we come to our Munstead. Now, I thought the Munstead for sure would have been the first one to pop up. That was just my guess based on my research. And nothing has popped up yet. And I see a little breakage in some of the... seeds. Also a little algae going on there, but there's a little breakage in that seed there, like maybe something's going to emerge, but nothing has popped up yet. So I'm going to keep the domes on these because these are slow growers and they're very little, they have very little popping up so far, but none of my Munstead has popped up yet, cold stratified or not. I had 5 rows cold stratified and 5 rows not cold stratified. Plus I still have some left over. So a lot of seeds came in those packets, but I have not had any germination yet. And I'm really sad. I hope we actually get some germination on the Munstead because that was the biggest amount that I had that I was going to be putting in the front garden bed out there. I was going to do a big drift of it if it all popped up. But I've got good germination on the other ones. So that's exciting. One of the ones I was the most excited to see actually in bloom was the white ice. And it looks like we're going to have plenty of those to play with if they all survive. And then not lavender related, but our onions are doing really well in this tray. So that's our 1 week update. We'll be back for a 2 week update, and hopefully I have some Munstead to show you. Okay, so this is going to be my final check-in before this video goes up. This is our 2 week check-in. I put these seeds in soil on January 22nd, and today is February 5th? 5th or 6th? Pretty sure it's 5th. They're doing really well. I know they're slow growers, so I was expecting that, but they're getting decent germination. This here is the white ice. No, I'm sorry. This one right here is the French perfume lavender, and every cell germinated on this one here, and they're starting to put on a little bit of growth. I can see where their leaves might be getting a little scorched, so I'm going to have to start backing off the lights just a tad bit. I'm using the 5,000 lumen shop lights from Hyper Tough from Walmart that I showed in my seed starting setup video. Here I've got the white ice with the cold stratification, and these ones didn't come up as well. I mean, they're still, like I see one right there cracking the soil. They're still germinating at 2 weeks. But the the non-cold stratified, I should say. The cold stratified in this cell, these two cells, didn't fully germinate all the way. I'm missing two here. The ones that are not cold stratified all popped up just fine, and with multiples in each cell. I've done a little moving around, but I've got a lot of starts going on in here, which is nice because I will separate all these out, and I want to keep as many as I can for the drift I have planned. Over here, this soil for some reason is drying out so much faster than the other ones. Like, my onions are also drying out really quickly, and I don't know if it's the position, because they're getting the same amount of light and they got the same amount of water. I don't really know why that's happening. But I've been just kind of giving them what they need based day by day. These ones here are the purple ribbon, and they all germinated. This little guy is still coming up here. It might not survive. I gotta add a little more water onto these ones. But they're doing well. They're getting a little leggier than the others are, and I think they need a different light requirement. Or, I don't really know. They're all under the same lights. So, that's the part of the experiment. They're all growing under the same lights. They're all given the same amount of water at the same time. But these ones all germinated, so I was very happy about that because there was not a lot of seeds in this packet, and I want these for containers. And then we have the Munstead, which is starting at 2 weeks. It's finally starting. I've got a little guy there. This section is the cold stratified for these 5 rows here. And then I have the non-cold stratified for these 5. I've got only one popping up in the cold stratified side so far. In the non-stratified, I have, looks like 3 popped up so far. So we're getting somewhere. We're getting something. I hope more of these pop up, because this was, in my drift, this was my main plan, was to have mostly Munstead lavender, since it was the most packed pack that I got of lavender. I modified one of my domes so I can still keep moisture over here. I just put a little saran wrap at the end, and I've been supporting it with a smaller lid I have to hold it up so it sits better than this, so that these guys aren't stuck under humidity, but these guys were until they popped up, and they started popping up yesterday, I think, is when I started seeing growth in there. So that's our check-in for 2 weeks. I am going to post this video with all this information, and then I will come back at a 6-week check-in for a smaller update. And hopefully I'll have much larger, much more mature plants to show you at 6 weeks. So for now, I'm going to go get some water, take care of my onions, which are doing really well over here. Only other thing I have going on in the grow room right now is I've got some celery going, the pink Chinese celery I got from Baker's Creek. And then I've got a whole tray down here of beautiful Brussels sprouts and broccoli and cabbage. I'm going to move them up to the stronger lights. They're currently under the 3200 lumen lights, but I just got another set of the 5000 lumen installed, so I'm going to get longer chains and drop them down and put my broccoli and cauliflower and the taller stuff on this top shelf up here. So that's our check-in. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we will be checking in at 6 weeks.